Hello, I'm Scott Stevens, James City County Administrator, and I want to share a brief overview of my proposed FY 2023 budget for James City County. I have a lot of numbers which are covered in much greater detail in my budget message, but if you have questions, please don't hesitate to call me at 757-253-6603. The FY 2023 proposed budget is $233.4 million, which is a 4% overall increase from last year's budget. The general fund portion of our budget, which is where we spend most of our time discussing, is $218.2 million, or 8% more than last year's budget. This 8% increase represents $16 million and is where I would like to focus my comments today. I believe this additional revenue is needed for James City County to support salaries, new positions, support for our school division, and for capital improvement projects that we hear the community would like for us to complete. So let me begin with salaries. In the proposed budget, I have $4 million to support salary increases for existing staff. 60% of our staff turnover the past 2 years has been in our lower pay grades. Vacancies and constant turnover has made it difficult for us to provide basic services, such as those provided by social services, mowing of our grass, providing lifeguards, keeping our parks in pristine condition, keeping our solid waste convenience center sites open, staffing our Rec Connect before and after school care sites. These staffing challenges have been seen through most of our county departments. The proposed budget supports funding that move the minimum pay for county employees to $9.64 per hour in December to over $13 an hour today. This represents more than a 35% increase in pay for our lowest paid employees and significant increases for all of our employees at all levels within the county, with a 5% and $1,500 pay increase for them. We have $1 million in new positions that were created in the current year. 9 of those were firefighters, 6 were in general services for the formation of a road crew designed to enhance community appearance with additional mowing, litter pickup, debris pickup, etc. along our roadways and county facilities. We have another $1.2 million for 11 positions and 28 reclassifications that would be effective after July 1st, 2022 if the proposed budget is approved. We have another $2.2 million in operating expenses, primarily due to inflationary costs such as costs for supplies, fuel, our software programs, support for this new road maintenance crew, and increasing building maintenance costs. There's another $1.2 million in increasing costs for our school division, $650,000 for our library and outside agency support, and then $5.7 million for increasing our cash or our PAYGO funding for our capital improvements projects fund. Within this fund, we have $1.2 million that is new this year for our rural lands protection, which our citizens have definitely supported. We have $2 million in new funding requests this year for the design of our general services complex relocation. And it's the beginning of trying to increase our county facility space. We currently occupy 400,000 square feet of office space, but we need around 550,000 square feet today. So we are well behind. We have grown staff to serve the community, but we've not grown our facilities. And so we are focusing on that in the years to come. We have park projects within this $5.7 million that include improvements in our Upper County Park and our Chickahominy Riverfront Park. We also have $2.6 million in stormwater projects that are ongoing throughout the community. So that covers the $16 million increase and why I believe we need to have it included in the proposed budget. I do want to touch on real estate assessments. We reassess property every 2 years in James City County. At the end of February, we sent out over 29,000 notices to property owners that the property value was increasing. The overall increase in property values in James City County was 8%. If the tax rate remains at 84 cents per $100 valuation, the increase in property values provide an additional $8 million to the county. The Board of Supervisors has no ability to change the assessment of your property. That is done by contacting our real estate division, and you have until April 30th to appeal to the Board of Equalization. So if you would like to appeal the value, please contact our real estate division at 757-253-6650. While the Board of Supervisors cannot change the assessment, they can change the tax rate. And reducing the tax rate to revenue neutral still means some residents would pay more, because with an average 8% increase, some that have a 10 or 20 or 30% increase would pay more even with a revenue neutral tax rate. For point of reference, 1 cent on the tax rate equals $1.1 million. So with our average home value of $370,000, 1 cent would save that homeowner $37 per year or $3 per month for every 1 cent reduction in tax rate. And if the board chooses to reduce the tax rate, my recommendation would be to work back through that list of increases that I had shared with you and start taking it from those items. And we could do that if that's the direction the community and our Board of Supervisors would like for us to go. I do want to mention the Board of Supervisors has provided some tax relief on your personal property. Used vehicle values are at an all-time high. And again, as supply chain issues improve, I think that will, go back to a more normal depreciation of those vehicle values. But rather than send you a much higher bill for your vehicle than you received last year, the Board of Supervisors has already approved a 25% reduction in what we would have billed for most of the vehicles you own. So you won't see that difference, but the board is sensitive to the cost increases that our residents are experiencing during this time of inflated prices of fuel and otherwise. I want to at least share some opportunities for public involvement. We have a number of times where you can be involved personally. We always are open to questions and phone calls and emails ahead of time. But April 5th at 4 o'clock, our Financial Management Services Director, Sharon Day, and I will hold a public meeting in person and online, so I would encourage you to join us. Our Board of Supervisors will hold a budget and tax rate public hearings at their April 12th meeting, which begins at 5 o'clock. Both of these meetings will be held in the boardroom in Building F at the Government Center at 101 Mounts Bay Road. I'm willing to come speak to any group or answer questions during or prior or after the budget process, so please don't hesitate to call my office, 757-253-6603. Again, I'm Scott Stevens, your County Administrator. I certainly want to help you understand what's in the proposed budget and answer your questions so that you feel good about what you do and your support for James City County. So please don't hesitate to call on me. Thank you.